The woman he chose is now treating him the same way he treated you. Please, can we talk? Those were the words he never thought he would be saying. He was standing in the living room while she was scrolling through her phone without even looking at him. He said, "Can we talk?" he repeated. She sighed heavily. "Not now, I'm busy." The words hit him very hard. Not because they were rude, but because he had said those exact words to someone else many times before. For a moment, he stood there in silence. Months ago, he believed he had made the best decision of his life. He walked away from someone who loved him deeply and chose a woman he thought was more exciting, more interesting, and more suitable for the future he imagined. In the beginning, everything felt perfect. He, she gave him attention, she praised him, she made him feel important. Whenever people questioned his decision, he defended it proudly. I will never, I will have never been happier, he told everyone. But happiness built on appearance does not last forever. Slowly, things started changing. The woman she chose stopped listening whenever he spoke. When he shared his worries, she dismissed them. When he needed support, she became unavailable. When he needed when he wanted time together, she suddenly had other plans. At first, he made excuses for her. Just she just she's just stressed. She's having a bad day. Things will get better. But they didn't. One evening he came home carrying flowers. He wanted to surprise her. He wanted to make her smile. When he opened the door, she barely noticed him. "You bought flowers?" she asked without looking up. "Yes, just leave them somewhere there." That's it. No smile, no appreciation, no excitement. He stood there holding the flowers, feeling foolish. Then a memory crossed his mind. Years earlier, someone had done something special for him. Someone had made sacrifice for him. Someone had gone out of their way to make him happy. And what he had done, he treated her he treated her efforts like they were ordinary. For the first time, he understood how painful that felt. The lesson did not stop there. Whenever disagreement happened, the woman he chose will never accept responsibility. Everything became his fault. If she was angry, it was his fault. If she was unhappy, it was his fault. If something went wrong, somehow it became his fault. Then, the more he tried to fix things, the more exhausted he became. One night after an argument, he sat alone in the dark. The house was quiet. The silence forced him to think. He remembered the conversation he once ignored. He remembered the tears he once dismissed. He remembered the warning he refused to hear. Most of all, he remembered a woman who only wanted to be loved, respected, and appreciated. A woman he had taken for granted. Now he was standing in her shoes. Now he knew what it felt like to be overlooked. Now he knew what it felt like to beg for attention from someone who no longer cares. Now he knew what it felt like to love someone who treated his feeling like an inconvenience. The realization was painful, not because he was suffering, but because he finally understood the suffering he had caused. One afternoon, a friend looked at him and said, "You don't seem happy anymore." He forced a smile. "I'm fine." His friends shook his head. "No, you are not." For several seconds he said nothing. Then he quietly replied, "I think I misunderstand something now. I think I understand something now." What? He started He started out in the window. He stared at a window. I understand what I put her through. His friend did not respond. There was nothing to say because the truth was already sitting between them. Life had brought him face to face with his own actions, not through punishment, not through revenge, but through experience. Every cold response, every ignored message, every broken promise, every moment of feeling unimportant. He was now leaving himself, and the hardest part was knowing he could not go back and change what he had done. Some lessons arrived through advice, others arrived through consequences. His lesson arrived through a relationship that reflected his own behavior back to him. And every day he looked into the reflection, he saw a painful truth. A woman he chose was treating him, the woman he chose was treating him exactly the way he once treated the woman who genuinely loved him. Only now did he understand the value of what he lost.